Do you want a rewarding hobby that brings the beauty and tranquility of nature right into your home? Whether you live in a bustling city or a quiet countryside, an aquascaped aquarium can transform any living space into a serene oasis. Imagine a vibrant underwater world teeming with life, a miniature little ecosystem where lush plants sway gently in the current, fish darting around playfully amongst the foliage, creating this dynamic and ever-changing scene. It's like living art. Welcome to my channel, Fish Muggers, and to the rewarding adventure called Aquascaping. If you're new here, that's what I call my fans, Fish Muggers. So what is aquascaping, you might ask? I mean, that's why you're here, right? I'm going to read you something. Yep, I'm going to read it that I found. You ready? Aquascaping is the art of... I'm just kidding. Aquascaping is the art of creating beautiful underwater gardens and full ecosystems. It combines the principles of gardening and design to craft stunning aquatic landscapes that captivate the eye and literally soothe the soul. It's true. Aquascaping is essentially landscaping for an aquarium, focusing on creating a harmonious and aesthetically pleasing environment for both the viewer and the aquatic inhabitants. This is the magic of aquascaping. It's not just about placing plants and rocks and wood in an aquarium. It's about creating a living piece of art that evolves over time. Beyond its aesthetic appeal, aquascaping also offers therapeutic benefits. Did you know this? The gentle movement and the sound of the water and the vibrant colors of plants and fish can have a profound calming and zen-like effect on your mind. Studies have shown that observing and enjoying an aquarium can reduce stress and promote relaxation. The rhythmic movements of the fish and the tranquil environment can help lower blood pressure and improve mental well-being. I don't know about the blood pressure thing. I have 12 tanks though, so maybe that's... I have high blood pressure anyway. But it says so. Look, I'm no doctor, but I read all this on the internet, and the internet doesn't lie. If you've never done it, aquascaping might seem daunting at first. And honestly, it's easier than you think. Don't be afraid. With a little bit of research, the right guidance, a little planning and effort, and a wee bit of patience, anyone can create a beautiful, captivating, and stunning aquascape, even on a tight budget. You don't need to invest in any expensive equipment or rare plants or CO2 systems or anything to achieve an amazing and impressive result. Oftentimes, you can find amazing deals on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, even Amazon. Chosen smartly, you can even obtain most of the necessary tools on a tight budget. I mean, you might even have some of these tools laying around your house. I use these Chinese restaurant chopsticks for a ton of things. I mean, I'm always using these. They're free. You just buy some General Tso chicken. I mean, you got razor blades, scissors, tweezers, a turkey baster. You know, you can go get a cheap algae scraper, towels and hoses, and you need one of those 5-gallon buckets from the hardware store so you can wash your substrates in it. Yeah, sure, all of these expenditures do add up. I get it. But the point is, be smart, do your research, read some reviews, go join or ask questions in groups and forums, and find the best solution for the best prices. Take your time and invest wisely. It's not a rush. A lot of people rush into this and then they expect immediate results. That is not the way to go about this. Take your time. Have a plan. Have a budget. The objective of this video is to detail out all the basic building blocks that you'll need to get your aquascape up and running. Enough of the sales pitch. Let's get started on the basics for setting up your system. There's a common misconception that aquascaping and fish keeping and setting up aquariums requires a significant financial investment. This simply isn't true. You can create beautiful, engaging, and thriving aquascapes without spending a fortune. The key is to focus on simplicity and choose affordable alternatives to expensive equipment and plants. You don't need a high-tech CO2 injection system or any fancy, expensive lighting. I mean, those things are nice, but wait till you get more into the hobby before you start investing in expensive equipment like this. Many hardy, slow-growing plants thrive in a low-tech system. Standard LED bulbs provide sufficient light for most plants, and many budget-friendly filtration systems out there will maintain your water quality effectively. The bottom line here is, aquascaping is about creativity and resourcefulness, not about spending a ton of money. So obviously, the first step, the very first step, can you guess what it is? You need a tank. You got to choose an aquarium. You need to choose the right aquarium. This decision is important because, it sets the foundation for your entire aquascape. But don't overthink it. The size of your tank will depend on your available space and your budget. Measure out the area where you plan to put it, and then consider how much you're willing to invest. Larger tanks are more expensive, but they offer you more creative freedom. Starting with a smaller tank is a great option for beginners, okay? It allows you to get a feel for the hobby without overwhelming you with maintenance tasks and all the expenses and everything that goes with it. It's easier to maintain and requires, less substrate, less rocks and plants and hardscape. Tanks come in all shapes and sizes. You have rectangular and round and cube and bowed glass. There's so many choices out there. I for one, I prefer rectangular tanks because they're the most popular, right? But I prefer them because their shape provides a balance and allows you to sprawl out your whole environment like a canvas, like a widescreen TV, and gives you the most uninhibited view of your entire underwater landscape. And this makes it easier to appreciate all those intricate details that you put into your little world, right? So that's your first shopping list item, is a tank. Once you've chosen your tank and the place it's going to be, it's now time to start thinking about your hardscape. The hardscape is the backbone of your whole aquascape. It sets the stage for your plants and all your aquatic life. The term hardscape refers to all the non-living elements in your aquarium. Your rocks, your driftwood, your substrate. Three things, really. These materials can often be found for free right there in your own yard. You can get rocks out of your own yard. Or you can go to a landscaping vendor. Rocks can be cheap. You don't need to buy them from the pet stores. They'll be more expensive there. These rocks, though, they need to be inert. And that means that they don't react to chemicals. One way to test your rocks would be to put a couple drops of vinegar on it, or if you have muriatic acid. I have a pool, so I have muriatic acid on hand. And if it fizzles, that rock is not good. That's like a limestone or something, and it'll dissolve into your water and change your chemistry completely. So safe rocks like granite, dragonstone, lava rock, quartz, slate. There's even some that you can buy, Siryu stone. It's from Japan. These are some of the favorites amongst the hobbyists. And never guys, never use cement products. The cement has all kinds of nasty stuff that leaches into your water and will decimate your tank. Driftwood is great, okay? It gives natural elegance, and it provides a surface for epiphytes like moss and java fern and anubias and bucephalantra to attach to. Epiphytes are plants that obtain their nutrients from the water column, not in the substrate. So you never plant these into the substrate. So when you choose wood, make sure you choose hardwoods, not softwood, because the softwood will rot, and that'll be bad too. And never use pine. I don't know why. I've tried to find out. I don't know why. It must leach all kinds of crazy stuff into the water. That's not good. If you go to the pet store or your aquatic store or wherever, the most popular wood favorites are mopani, bogwood, and spiderwood. Did you know, actually, spiderwood, little known fact here, spiderwood is the roots of azalea bushes. Yeah. Now, don't go digging up your mom's azalea bushes. She'll get mad. Okay? But yeah, azalea bushes is spiderwood. So mopani and bogwood can leach tannins into your water and give it like the color of tea. This is called black water. A lot of aquarium people out there want to achieve this effect, for a natural aesthetic. And tannins are actually good and healthy for your fish and your environment. Google it, you'll see there's all kinds of great benefits. pH buffering and stuff. Spiderwood is my absolute favorite because, it barely releases any tannins into the water, and it doesn't matter what you do with this wood. It just looks cool. No matter where you put it or how you arrange it or whatever, it's super cool looking, and it always gives your aquascape an awesomeness. So let's talk about your substrate. Aqua soil, like fluval stratum. It's generally any kind of nutrient-rich substrate that will promote your plant growth. Whether or not the nutrients are supplemented or they're already in the soil, supplemented with root tabs or self-contained, it's an excellent alternative to just gravel and sand. Now, if you like the appearance of sand, then what you need to do is, and I detail this in many videos, and I probably will detail this in many videos to come, is using my 3-layer method. The bottom layer will be gravel. This is for bacteria growth and stuff. The next layer is your soil, and this is where you'll put your root tabs as well. And then you cap the whole thing with sand, play sand. It's the best sand I found out there. Home Depot play sand. You cap it to keep all those nutrients from leaching immediately into your water column. Because this could cause an algae outbreak, and you don't want that. It gets ugly. So that's the secret. Okay, 3-layer, gravel, soil, sand. But yeah, back to the sand. So after you rinse it a few times, and I mean rinse it, because that's my new motto: rinse your stuff before you put it in your tank. I have a video where I didn't do that, and it was disastrous. The Pirate Bay build when I did that. The best sand that I found, I just mentioned it, was the Home Depot play sand. I've tried the Lowe's sand, and I don't know where they source their sand, but it's ugly. It's horrible. It's super dirty. It looks good. It has this reddish appearance, but when you rinse it, it won't settle. I rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse, and I rinse it a lot, and I even rinsed it and then left it in the bucket overnight. And the next day, it was still murky water. I put my hand down in the bucket, 2 inches underwater, and you couldn't even see my hand. I probably put a little picture of that here somewhere. But, don't use that. But Home Depot play sand, that stuff is great. Using this 3-layer substrate method has proven hugely successful for me over the years. Every time I use it, I get perfect results, and my tanks look great. All right, so what do we have so far for your budget, for your list? You need rocks, that's free. You need driftwood, that could be free if you source it from a local waterway. Otherwise, you want to buy that. You need some coarse gravel of some kind. That could be super cheap if you get pea pebble or some kind of gravel from a hardware store. You need an aqua soil of some kind. So that'd be fluval stratum, I guess, is that's the easiest one here. If you have a pond store near you, you might actually look into an organic soil, an organic pond soil. You don't want to use just regular soil you get at your hardware stores, because if it gets into your water column, it'll literally just float. It has a lot of wood and stuff in it. So don't use that unless you can ensure that sand cap stays nice and capped. And then some play sand. Play sand. It's $5, less than $5 probably. So those are the things that you need so far. So now we're going to talk about plants. Plants are the heart of your aquascape. They're and it's why you're here, right? We're talking about planting. They're not just decorative elements, but they play a crucial role in maintaining an ecosystem in your tank. Their presence, it balances a healthy environment in an aquatic environment. In many cases, this will be the most expensive part of your setup. It's a necessary evil. I'm sorry, But if you search around on Marketplace or on Craigslist or whatever, there's a lot of people near you, you'd be surprised, that are actually selling plants and cuttings. I do. I just had a customer here yesterday. So that could be a lot cheaper, right? And I sold her like a whole gallon bag of just a whole bunch of different plants. She just said she wanted a huge sampling of a whole bunch of different plants. So everything that I had, that's what she said. I didn't do that. That would have been crazy. But, $20, and she was ready to go. She was good to go. So, search your local listings, see if anybody's selling anything. Go, if you go to a friend's houses that also have aquascapes, maybe you got this whole idea from somebody that you visited. Well, go back and visit them and ask for some of their cuttings. One cutting can get you going. One stem cutting, you put it in there and it grows, and you cut it and you stick it back in the sand and it grows, and you just keep doing that and keep propagating it, and before you know it, you have a ton of plants. But the thing is, buying your plants online or from your local pet store is expensive. I don't know why they charge so much for plants. You think it would be cheaper, because they want to get you into the hobby, but they're expensive. Mosses, Java fern, Anubias, Crypts, Bucephalantra, maybe not Bucephalantra, but all those other ones are great for beginners. These plants, they're not only affordable, but they're easy to care for. They're ideal for new aquascaping. There are also lots of stem plants that are easy to grow and available as stems, like Ludwigia and Rotala, and they're super easy. Did I say they were easy? They're easy. You just stick them right into the sand and they'll shoot roots out eventually. But most plants are resilient and can tolerate like a wide variety of water parameters. So you don't have to worry too much about your water. Don't stress out about it. Whether your water is hard or soft or acidic or alkaline, your plants can adapt and pretty much continue to grow in any environment. Like that quote in Jurassic Park, life will find a way. Obviously, there are benefits to having plants in your aquarium. They provide oxygen. They absorb harmful things like nitrites and nitrates. But they're just a nice natural habitat for your fish. They not only help in keeping your water clean, but they also reduce the stress of your fish. When they have lots of little hiding places, they're less stressed. And it makes them more vibrant and active. If you ever went to the fish store and you bought fish and they look great in the tank, and then you brought them home and their color was like completely different, it's because they're stressed out. And when you put them back into a nice environment like your aquascape, because your aquascape is just looking awesome, right? Their color returns and then just become amazing. So yeah, plants are important to help your fish. These plants that I listed above, and lots of others too, almost any plant, honestly, they don't require expensive fertilizers and CO2 injection systems to make them thrive. I don't have that anywhere. I do have a CO2 system because I had to just check it out. It was cheap. It was on Amazon, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this, and I use it for a bit, but I don't maintain it. They're gonna grow just fine in your low tech environment, which means you can save money not buying expensive equipment and still have a beautiful tank. So moss, Java fern, and other ferns, Bucephalantra, Anubiases. Is that the plural for Anubiases? These are called epiphytes. And what that means is that they get their nutrients from the water column. So you can't just stick them down in the substrate. You have to attach them like with Gorilla Glue, or just wedge them in between rocks, or glue them to your wood. And that's how they'll get their nutrients. The roots will literally grow down and eventually maybe even go down into your soil, but let them do that. Never take the rhizomes of these plants and shove them down into the sand. The rhizome has to be out for sure. This unique characteristic allows for creativity and flexibility in your tank, because now instead of all your plants being on the ground level, you can start planting up, and it just adds really cool stuff to your tank. Crypts, swords, jungle val, and stem plants, these all need to be in your substrate. The roots need to be underground. They need to be buried. And eventually the roots will grow, nice and strong and, wedge themselves in there. Because sometimes when you put your stems into the plant, if you have aggressive fish, they could end up pulling them out, and then you're just fighting that whole thing with your fish. In time, they'll form root systems that will help anchor them into the substrate. By choosing hardy and low maintenance plants like this, you can create stunning aquascapes without breaking the bank. They offer beauty, functionality, ease of care, and they're the cornerstone and the heart of any budget-friendly aquascape. So your budget and your list includes plants. Remember, this will probably be the most expensive part. We're not going to expense fish yet, because you're going to start with some cheap fish when you start out. But for your budget, you need plants. I would say budget around $50 to start out. There's your challenge, $50. I mean, probably more like $100 if you buy it all from the pet store. So now that we talked about plants, the next thing, obviously, is lighting. Plants need light. What can I say? But you don't need to invest in the super high-end expensive lighting. I mean, it's out there, and I'm sure it does wonders, but I don't use it at all. Look into inexpensive lights. Standard LED bulbs that you can get from like the hardware store will provide enough light for your low-tech aquascape. I even bought some $20 LED lights from Harbor Freight. If you have a Harbor Freight around you, check it out. These lights, I have them over here on these two tanks, and I gotta say, I think they're too bright. So I might have to put some like electrical tape on them to keep all that light. They're really bright. But the trick is that you wanna try to like target buying bulbs or strips or whatever that are in the color temperature range of about 6,500 to 7,500 Kelvin, which mimics natural sunlight the best. But guys, the intensity of the light is just as important as the duration. You want to aim for 6 to 8 hours a day. If you do more than that, then you risk the possibility of an algae outbreak in your tank. I mean, if you get that, the solution is just reduce your lighting and your time. I highly recommend that you get a timer of some kind. My power strip over here has a built-in timer for one row of the plugs are timed and the other one are on all the time. I have some that are on, they're smart plugs, Alexa enabled. I could just say, hey Alexa, turn off the saltwater filter. I have some other lights that have the timing built right in. Some of these lights are by Nycrew. I know Haiger also has these as well. So I mean, if you already have those, that's great. They're a little more expensive. I found the Nycrew ones are the cheaper and actually quite perfect. I have them. Oh my god, there must be like 7 or 8 of these tanks that have that set up in it. But use a timer. That way, it's easier on you. You don't have to try to keep up with it. As long as you have some kind of schedule and you're not overdoing your lighting and getting algae outbreaks, I think you'll be fine. I mean, if you do, don't stress out about it. It's not a big deal. I think people stress out about algae way too much, and then they go out and they start buying chemicals and all these over-the-counter so-called remedies, and that's just companies trying to make money off you. Don't do that. Just if you got an algae outbreak, it's your fault. You did it. Just change your lighting. Turn off your lights. I mean, if it's a really bad outbreak, I've actually had to, it's called blacking out, I think. Yeah, darking out, blacking out. I've actually set my lights off for 3 days. Yeah, 3 days. I mean, I guess you want to be careful because you don't want to, you don't want to inhibit the growth of your other plants and stuff in there. You just want to kill the algae, but it does help a lot. But the point is there's no overnight remedy for fixing an algae problem. So, you change your lighting, maybe you're blacking out, but maybe you're adding too much fertilizer. All right? There's something that you're doing that is causing this. Now, here's another thing, guys. Algae is not harmful to your fish. It's just ugly to you. It only hurts you. Your fish will be perfectly happy in algae-infested water. Now, there is some algae that you do want to be careful about. I mean, talking about overnight remedies. And there's this stuff called cyanobacteria, also known as blue-green slime. And it'll get all over everything. It'll be on your substrate. It'll be on your plants. It'll be on your wood. And you'll freak out. Pro tip. Is it a pro tip? this is a great tip, okay? There is an overnight remedy. Well, it's not overnight. It's a couple of nights. But there is a remedy out there, and it fixes it. It's this stuff by a company called ChemiClean, or maybe that's the name of this stuff. I'll put a picture. There it is. Stuff works. It works great. Cyanobacteria is not algae. Nothing will eat it. Nothing that I know of will eat it. But yeah, you can fix your tank. And another thing is, it has a weird smell. Like, pull some out and smell it. I know, I taste everything. I'm disgusting. It just helps me. Using my own senses to detect problems, to me, is a tool. It is a tool that gets you intimate with the whole process. But I'll smell it, and it has this like funky smell. So and it'll smell your whole water like this. So when my water starts to get this smell, and it's a smell you'll remember once you smell it once. Once my water starts smelling like that, I'm looking all over the tank. I'm looking like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And yeah, ChemiClean clears it up in a matter of days. Just Google it. More on the subject of algae. I mean, remember, algae is not harmful to your fish or anything. I actually have a tank. It's my little 5-gallon in there with my beta and my gold tetras, where I'm purposely growing algae in there because I wanted the spiderwood to have like this like Spanish moss kind of green, algae looking stuff all over it. And it's like that too. But like any aquascaped aquarium and plants and that, you have to maintain it. I mean, there's maintenance involved. I mean, if I let it, the aquarium will just be covered in it. So I had to get in there with like a test tube cleaner, the little fuzzy test tube cleaners or whatever they call them, and I'll just swirl it around and pull some of the algae out every once in a while, and then everything's good. So don't stress out about algae, guys. It's not a big deal. Don't go spend your money on stupid chemicals. You're just throwing money away. Okay, so let's see. I'm a little ADD, so I went off on a tangent there about algae. Sorry about that. Let's get back to lighting. All right. You'll be tempted to keep your lights on all the time in your home. So try to keep it. Look, I'm guilty of this too. I mean, I have my aquariums on all the time. I really do. I mean, and I got to stop doing that because I do have some issues with algae, and I'm always like cleaning the glass and I'm just giving myself more work when I could actually solve it just by being more disciplined about my lighting. But try to keep it to 6 to 8 hours a day, and choose these times strategically. So like when you're home, so if you work all day long, then and you want to, most of your viewing time is in the evenings, then don't let your tanks come on until around noon. You don't have to see them in the morning. You're getting ready to go to work and you're going to run out of there. So, unless you need to check something, you turn the light on, then you turn it back off again, and then set your schedule to come on at noon. So when you come home, you will get to see it until like around 8 o'clock at night. So plan according to your schedule. Be disciplined about it, and it'll just make you happier in the long run. So let's see. So we're adding to the budget now. So now you have lighting. Let's just put that around. Let's just say $30. All right, $20-$30. That's your challenge. Try to keep it to about that. And maybe an algae scraper. So when you mess up and your algae gets out of hand. I got this algae scraper. Oh my God, I need to put the link in the description. I keep forgetting to do that on the other videos where I mentioned this thing. Man, this thing is awesome. This algae scraper. I literally looked. Where is it? I literally looked. Look at this thing. Doesn't even fit in the picture. Look how long that is, man. That's almost 2 feet long, I think. And it's got this little razor blade on it. Let's see, where's the camera? There it is. Like that? Yeah. It's literally like those old-timey razor blades that they used back in the 50s or 60s or whatever, yeah, it's super thin, and I'm pointing at something you can't see, but it's bladed, it's sharp on both sides. So when it gets dull on this side, you just flip this guy over and it's good. Oh, but here's another little trick about this. Oh, $10 on Amazon. I got to put it in the description. Somebody beat me if I don't. Look at, here's a little secret about this. I'm a woodworker, so I'm kind of familiar with what's going on in this process. So you've been scraping and scraping and scraping, and what is happening is you're flattening the sharp, am I in the picture? You're flattening this side of the blade, the side that's doing all the work. But what you're really doing at a microscopic level is you're bending the material, the metal, to the other side. So to get more life out of your blades, and literally I'm on my second blade and I've had this like 2 years, I think. And I just keep flipping them over. You take the blade, instead of flipping it to the other side of the blade, simply flip it over this way. And now you have that sharp part exposed and it becomes your scraping part. And you just keep bending the bevel back and forth this way, like on a chisel. That's why I said woodworking. I'm sorry, I was trying to say woodworking. Yeah, just like on a chisel, your bend will go out this way on the very tip of your chisel, same on this blade, and then it'll go this way. So if all your force is on one side, you guys get it, okay? I mean, so you can actually flip it over and suddenly it's scraping like brand new again. I mean, you'll know it's not working if your algae is pretty bad. Like I have problems over here in this in the cichlid tank. You'll know it's not scraping when you got to work extra hard to get it to go. Then I'm like, oh, you know, I gotta, and I'm lazy, right? So then I'm like, oh, I gotta unscrew it and flip it over and then screw it back on. And it's stainless steel. This tool is awesome. $10. Come on. I mean, God, I use this thing a lot. You need this. Add this to your budget. Okay, so what do we have so far? We have a tank. We have hardscape. We have plants. We have lights. And there's one more thing that we need. Can you guess what it is? Do we need it? Or do we just want it? We need it. I think we need it. I think as beginner aquascapers, you need it. It's filtration. There's plenty of reliable and inexpensive filters out there on the market. I mean, you've got the sponge type that require air injection, and they just use air. They're cheap, and they're excellent low-tech filters. They're not only mechanical, but they're also like a biological medium for your beneficial bacteria. You need filters until your plants have grown up enough to assist in your water filtration, because they will. You know, when your aquascape is mature, it becomes this like ecosystem cyclical process. The fish poop. The poop is nutrients for your plants. The plants grow, they provide oxygen, and they filter your water, and the cycle continues. You get the picture. But you know, until you get to that point, that's why you need filtration to begin with. Not only that, like, you know, you might get like a lot of debris and stuff in your water, and you want to remove it, and any other toxins, like, you know, sometimes in your filter units, like some of these cheaper ones will have like carbon in their filters, you know. So, you know, carbon's good for clarifying your water. If anything, I like that the water is moving. You need to move the water. Even if you get these, like, I got some like over here in this tank, I have some like super cheap, $11, I think. They're tiny little filters, and they have like, maybe I'll just, instead of doing this, I'll just show you one. I mean, over there, and it's got like a little spray bar on it, and it's tiny. It's literally like that big. It's only for a 10-gallon tank. But the idea here is that you want to move the water around. You don't want it to be stagnant. You want those nutrients for the plants to be moving through the water and not like concentrating or building up anywhere. So I mentioned sponge filters. So you know, you also got your hang on the back kind. I actually have one on that tank back there. The hang on the back. They're $16, I think. Like, I think that's what I paid at one of the pet stores here. For one, you know, super cheap, and you know, it's great to like have it on hand, because I needed it, right? When I was doing that Blackwater, or I mean, not the Blackwater, when I was doing the Pirate Bay tank, you remember how I screwed up and I didn't clean my sand, and the sand was all, you know, the water was all dirty, and I had to use that filter for like 3 or 4 days to clean the water after that. And that filter, $16, you know, no brainer. It was good in use of an emergency. Hang in the back, air filters. You got the sponge type that are like the big sponges. You got the ones that are like the dual sponges. I've even seen them where they have like media balls in them. Actually, I have one in my beta tank. It's got media balls built into it, so like it's not only got like media, kind of like a little sophisticated. I mean, if you wanted to go like super high tech, you would get a canister filter, but you don't need that. You literally don't need that yet. Okay. Canister filters, you know, like the filter that Awasi one that I just got. that goes inside the tank. You have some that was like $100, but you don't need that either. I just got it because I wanted it. Daddy wants it. You don't need that. You also need bacteria. And so I really think this is an important step here, but I didn't want to make it its own like huge section. So it's in the filtration section. You need a good starter bacteria. Now there is a product out there by a company called API. It's called Quick Start, and I use it. Love the stuff. It's kind of like my cheat code. I'll put that into a new tank, and then I can add fish right away. I mean, that's what they claim, right? That's their claim, and I've done it. I do it right away. I do that because this is something that's called a fish in cycle, and you just put the fish in, and then they just start doing their thing. I don't know what they do. They just run around putting bacteria everywhere. Yeah. No, but you need some bacteria, guys. There's I think Fritz makes some, and there's all kinds of products out there. I think Fritz is a good one. API has the Quick Start. So you start with some Quick Start, and you don't really need much of this stuff. Like if you're only going to do 1 or 2 tanks, buy the smallest bottle available, so you don't have to spend a lot of money on it. Now I get the bottles like this because I'm always working on tanks. I'm gonna have I'm running out of load-bearing walls in my house. I can't put fish tanks anywhere else. Maybe I'll build a warehouse or something outside. But let's talk about your budget. So now your budget includes a filter. I'm gonna hold you guys to not spending more than $15 for a filter. Of course, if you do get one of those air kind, you're gonna need an air system. So that does add a little bit of expense. Here's the thing though, like say you're gonna set up a whole bunch of tanks. That 3 stack that I have in my kitchen, I was running off of 1 air system, and I didn't pay for it because I got it in like the purchase of that whole system. The guy just had it, and in buying other used equipment and stuff, I've got 4 or 5 of those things laying around. I even got like a little portable battery one so that if I wanted to go on the lake and catch little fish and stuff, I'm gonna have a segment about that too. But if you don't have one, you're gonna have to buy one. I don't know how much they cost, but maybe they're not much. But back to the point. Squirrel. The three tanks that I have in the kitchen, I was running all of those, and now 2 of them, off of 1 air system that I spliced off air tubes to all the air bubbling foam filtration systems in every one of those tanks. 1 system, 1 air system, all 3 tanks. That's 1 plug, all 3 tanks. Instead of having 3 hang on the back filters, which would take up 3 sockets, because I only have 2 power strips back there, so I'm kind of like I'm a little bit conscious of that. So let's see. So your budget would include a filter. I'm gonna tell you, keep it to $15, and then you need bacteria starters. So a couple of small bottles of whatever that costs. Okay, I don't know what it costs, but put that on your little notepad for your budget. Last, but not least, I need a drink of water. Creating a stunning aquascape takes time and patience. This is important. And I'm going to say this over and over and over again in my videos. I just feel it. I just know it. I already mentioned it in the shrimp tank build. If you've watched any of my series, like the whole Pirate Bay build out, it was 3 videos, 3 long videos that span multiple days. I mean, some of this stuff takes days to do, guys. But that's the art of it here, right? Take your time. Do it right. Do it right the first time, my mom always said. And have fun. Make it look awesome. That's the idea here is you want to make your friends envious. You want them to come into your house and go, wow, look at that. That's amazing. I mean, and you want to be able to do that day after day. If you just throw this thing together, you're just going to sit there and look at it, go, man, why doesn't my tank look good like, that guy's or this, these YouTubers that I see all the time? Why? Because you didn't take your time. And even after you're done with all this work, even after you're done, there's still like an adjustment period where your plants, they might look all like this in the beginning before they start growing straight up to the light. So, I mean, don't get discouraged. Don't be disappointed if your tank doesn't look quite right. Just wait. Be patient. Okay? Sometimes, if you don't like where a plant is, you can just simply pull it out and put it somewhere else. It's fine. You can disturb it. You can make changes after the fact. I do it all the time. I'll pull whole, like, Amazon swords out of it. I mean, it makes a mess, right? But it'll cloud up the water a little bit, but then it all settles back down again. So yeah, patience, guys. Patience. Take your time. Do it right. I promise, just about anything you do is going to look cool. I mean, I had some, like, kind of crappy looking starts, on mine, and then I'm like, And if you don't like it, hey, you just rip it all down and you do it again. Or, as I mentioned before, you just go out to the store and you buy more fish tanks. Oh, man. My family loves me. Here's another point about patience. This one is like, it's got to be one of my top pet peeves. Don't do this. It's pollen season here. My eyes are going nuts. Don't do this. Don't buy your livestock. Don't buy your fish. When you're at the pet store and you're like, ooh, yeah, and I just got to have that fish. Don't buy your fish. And then start walking around the store and buying your tank and your substrate and your decorations and your, everything else. Don't do that, man. I'll be at the pet stores, and I do frequent the pet stores a lot, as you can imagine. I'll be there, and there'll be like a customer that they have the kids with them, and they'll be like, ooh, mommy, look at this fish, look at that fish. You want to get them, honey? Yeah. And then so they want to get these fish. So they'll get the fish, and then they'll be talking to the employee, saying, okay, well, what kind of tank do I need? What kind of food do I need? What kind of this and that? And oh my God, it drives me nuts. It's so annoying. I just want to strangle them. I always want to strangle them. I said that actually in my shrimp tank one. What do I want to do in this video? I just want to shake them. Okay, I didn't strangle them this time. But don't do that, guys. They'll want to just don't rush through this. All right? If you see the fish that you like, just leave. All right? Leave. Go home and plan this thing out. The fish will be there next week. If not, just wait for the new shipment to come in, okay? You'll find those fish later. You will. Or you'll find better fish. But yeah, the point is, sorry about my little rant. I mean, I don't even work at these places, and I just I should say something, but then I'll be that guy, But sometimes, I have actually engaged customers, and I'll be like, well, tell me about what your setup is, or and I'll start working with them, and the employees, they all know me, and they're like, yeah, I'm just gonna let this guy talk, because they hate it. They hate it because these are the same people that are coming back to the store and returning dead fish. Yeah, it's sad. It really is sad, and some of those guys really care about the fish. They really care about their livestock, and when this happens, they get angry. And they'll remember you. They will. Because they'll be like, oh my God, so-and-so's coming in. This is a fish killer. Fish killer on the alert, so that they know who you are. They do. They'll remember you. So be patient, guys. Do it right. And when I say do it right, what I'm telling you is do your research. Research. It's crucial before you embark on this aquascaping adventure. Look, I can't even begin to tell you how many hundreds and probably thousands of hours I've spent watching other YouTubers, other videos, researching, getting on forums, talking to people on groups, going to fish stores, talking to the employees, talking about people that know about this stuff before I really started taking it seriously, and before I decided I'm going to go into it. Now, I did get a jump start on this when I inherited a tank from a buddy of mine, but I was already into like the betas, but you know what? Honestly, I wasn't even doing their tanks right. If I'm to be honest, I wasn't even doing their stuff right. I had decorations in there. I had fake plants. I had colored gravel and all this crazy stuff. I mean, just I did it so wrong. If I could go back in time. But look, do your research. And this is important too. Really important. Pay attention right here. You need to watch every single one of my videos and like them and subscribe to my channel. Okay, no, you need to do the research. You need to go out there at the risk of promoting other people's channels. Guys, there are, I'm not the only one doing this. And I have like right now I have all of like 35 subscribers. So 5 of those are probably my family members and my friends that don't really care. But there's other people out there that are doing this. They've been doing it for years. They're really good at it. I mean, really good at it. I've met some of them even at some of the shows that I went to. It's okay to go look at their stuff. I mean, obviously I want you to subscribe. I want you to like the videos and stuff, but I want you to do the research. That's what I want. I want you to enjoy the hobby. So I want you to do it right. All right? These guys, man, there's a couple guys. I don't even know if I want to name them because they're so awesome, and they'll take you away from me. I don't want that. But look, it's how I learned. It really is. It's how I learned. I went and that's what I did. I looked at their stuff. I asked questions. I got on these forums. I did my research. I read and read and read every day. I've been reading a lot. Well, right now it's about how to make YouTube videos and stuff. But look, go out there and just do it right. And just do it. Go ahead and do it. I mean, I did research a lot before I got started. Probably just waited too long. Honestly, I was doing research and I'm crazy like that. Like if I'm interested in anything, I'll research it to no end. Oh my God. If I get into something, I go all in. So that's just one way to do it, guys. I mean, like if you want to do this, but you're not really sure about it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, start small. Go get a little 10-gallon tank. I got some great setups. So hopefully I've been showing like little clips and stuff, so it's not just me here in the camera. I got great 10-gallon setups. I do. I got a great, my shrimp tank is a 3-gallon, and these 2 guys right here are 10 gallons. And they look pretty awesome. I'm going to be redoing the bottom one there. Heck, I might redo them both, Oh, my goldfish tank. It's a 10-gallon. You guys have seen that, right? My goldfish tank. It's a 10-gallon. Just, if you don't know what you're doing, and you don't want to take a chance, start small, and in the end get cheap fish, platies and tetras and goldfish. These are all cheap fish. You can start really cheap, and on that point, so for your budget as well, I want you to get some testing kits. I mean, if it's as simple as like those little testing strips, you can go all out and get the API makes a great kit. It's called the API Freshwater Master Kit, Master Water Testing Kit. It's like, man, I can't remember, but I think it's like $50, man. And it's expensive. I have one. I use it because I have a lot of stuff going on. And I said this actually in my shrimp, and I still have it over here. Like, I had a spreadsheet that I used to do. All right, and I used to keep track of, and when I say used to, the last time the date here that I have is like 2023 December. So it's been about a year since I've had done this. But every week I kept track of all my statistics. I put little red dots, next to these things that were alarming to me or whatever, or stuff that I needed to look at or look into. At one point I started to in TDS, but I didn't want to remake the spreadsheet, so I just added it on the sides over here. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to be this sophisticated, but keep track of things. Obviously, I have a lot of rows here, but you could, like, maybe you can make this with your reading, and then every week is a reading for the tank if you have one tank, right? But I suggest you do something like this. And these readings actually came from the master kit. You're not going to get readings like that. Well, I mean, you can get close. So, like, you can keep track of that with the little strips, because they're just like these little strips and they have these little color codes on them. But get a testing kit of some kind. Do that, all right? Put that in your budget, all right? You need to understand your water parameters. You need to understand your fertilizer schedule. You need, all of these things are important and essential in maintaining your healthy and thriving environment, and quite frankly, just to make you happy. Okay? Okay, so what did we talk about in this section? What's on your budget? Testing kits. Oh, and patience. Patience is free. You can find that right here. Testing kit, put that on your budget. Let's come to a conclusion here. The bottom line is that creating stunning and very engaging aquascaped ecosystem aquariums on a budget is completely achievable. By following these steps that I outlined above, and by doing your research, by going and watching other people's videos, the point here is that you can create beautiful, thriving, underwater paradises without spending a fortune. And then you can make all your friends jealous and envious and in awe. That's what you're trying to do, right? Oh, no. That's right. You're trying to create aquascapes. For you, not for them. For you. And I mean, when they come in there and they see all that stuff and they're like, ooh, ah, wow. You feel good. You feel good about it. So, a little bit of a ego boost, right? But remember, when you're starting out, start simple. Be smart. Choose hardy, low maintenance plans. Get simple and effective lighting solutions. Budget friendly filtration systems. Don't be afraid to experiment with the stuff that's in your yard. Just clean it really good, like your rocks and driftwood, hardwood, and using the sand capped 3-layer substrate. Okay. If you want just sand, fine, but just keep in mind that it might take longer for your plants to establish if they don't have some sort of nutrient base. And the gravel in there kind of serves as further anchors, because the roots will go down into the gravel as well. Okay, so the gravel is there, not only for your beneficial bacteria buildup, and there's a process that this is called anaerobic or something. Yeah, maybe it's anaerobic, but yeah, it helps your plants anchor themselves in. So, but I'll say it again. I'll say it so many times. Just be patient. Do your research. Make your lists. Get your plans. Have a schedule. But most of all, I want you guys to have fun. This is supposed to be fun. You're creating your underwater master art piece. So have fun with it. Take your time. Approach it scientifically. Be intelligent. And if you don't like it in a year, you could just break the whole thing down and do it again. Or just buy more aquariums. Guys, drop some likes, subscribe, add some comments. I want to hear about your experience. I want to know if you have any questions. I'm here for you. We're here for each other. Tell me what you're thinking. Do you have any ideas? Throw them at me. Okay? But let's get engaged. That's what this is a call to arms. Put some comments down there, please. Tell me how I'm doing. And as always, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me on this yet again long-winded video. Now go build yourself a glorious water world aquascape of your own. But don't forget to subscribe and like it.